to the Now Morning Show. Our art exhibit series on Now in collaboration with the Art Society of Trinidad and Tobago continues. Joining us this morning in studio is Omali, a young artist who definitely has the world in front of him and the talent to go along with it. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great.
Are you used to this early morning?
No. No.
Well, we appreciate it, and we really appreciate your artwork too, because it's vibrant, it tells a story. But before we get into the story of your artwork, let's learn a little bit about your story. Who is Omali? When did you even start to delve into your creative self?
I think it started probably in like Form 4, when I started doing art for like the CSEC level. I showed a little talent with my artwork, and at that point I just kept moving. I got really into it, and by the end of Form 5 when I was doing CSEC, I just found it like it was a talent for me at that point, yeah.
Is it something that you enjoy doing?
Yes, I love it. Sometimes it can be stressful, you know. You have deadlines, things come up, but, you know, the process is fun at the end of the day.
It's interesting that you said deadlines, because, you know, many times when we speak to artists like, you know, this took like a few days, this one took a few months. We've had artists who said things took a few years. With the work that you have with us on set this morning, how long would you say in total everything would have taken?
Well, you know, the two at the ends that are the card set, those took like about, I'd say about half the year, a little less, from January. Well, of course, because it's many illustrations, you know, over time. But I think I spent most of my time with the ideation, thinking about what I'm going to do, and then rush down the drawing at the end, because, you know, that's the most important part, you know, the concept. So, yeah, probably, like, one of them took just 6 hours. One of them took like a whole month, but yeah, it varies.
So taking a look at some of the artwork that you brought to us and we're going to have for the week, thank you so much. We're seeing Trinbagonian culture. We're seeing our heritage accurately represented as well. Is that something that's important to you, and if so, why?
Yes, it is very important to me. I think I got it from a talk I had with Jackie Hingston one time. He was doing an exhibition by Arnims, and we got to see him as a class. So I went up and I asked him, like, why he draws these people in his drawings, because he does on plein air stuff. So people aren't generally like there. He has to draw them in.
Yeah.
And he says he's trying to capture like an energy in his work. And when I heard that, it inspired me to like incorporate that into my artwork. So I always try to capture that Trinidadian energy in our peoples and heritage and stuff like that.
Now, taking a look at some of your artwork as well, we know that sometimes we see processes where artists will take photos, they'll capture something from memory, but we're definitely seeing here, this is your imagination and perhaps something from real time and real life being incorporated. Walk us through your process of how you actually create. Do you use a photo? Do you use it from your imagination? What do you do?
Well, I generally will use a combination of the two. I like to capture like a kind of fantastical element within the reel. So I'll take probably like one element that is just straight from reference or close to that, and then I'll add on fantastical elements on top of that. Yeah.
And okay, so I know in your bio, one of the things you would have mentioned was retro graphic illusions. Is that something that you have always done, or you perhaps fell into since Form 4?
I think I would have fallen into it after Form 4. Yeah, like at the end of CSEC when I was doing a Cape level art and design, that's when I would have started this kind of retro thing. But it's always been a part of me. It just came out in my art at that point.
So let's start with the art that we have on set this morning, which is so mind-blowing. It's super cool. I mean, for some, they'll watch it and say, okay, this also gives them, is reminiscent of a comic book, it's reminiscent of retroism, but also Trinidad and Tobago. This piece that I have right next to me here, what is the name of this piece?
This one, the first one?
Yes.
Yes, that one is Carnival Kingdom. There was another name, but obviously that's the one I went with. This one is Juve Morning, the Juve Morning part of the set.
Okay.
You know, I wanted to capture the mass part of our heritage and the fetting part especially. So, you know, it has a very playful aesthetic. I make sure and add these kind of graphic parts like the halftones. Because to me, that represents kind of like the art everyone would have gotten to see.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of art that's in galleries or in museums, and sometimes people don't get to see those things. So I want to form a connection with things that we've all kind of seen and experienced.
Now, something that's also interesting is your choice of color for this, because this has a lot of red tones. Was that specifically because it's part of the Carnival Kingdom playing card set, or was there something else that drew you to that color?
Well, I would say it's a little bit of both. Of course, the red and the blue contrast themselves very nicely. I wanted to have things that are more modern in the red, and then the other set has the more, I would say, historical or retro part that's in like a deep kind of blue. So I find that contrast is very interesting.
It is very interesting, and taking a look at it as well in detail, of course, for those of you who'll be able to see it on screen, something quite fascinating is you would have chosen, so the king, for example, the king is the fete DJ. We see the marche gras is the queen, and the king of the band is the jack. Was that something that was intentional, or did it just come to you over time while you were there working on it?
It was intentional, you know. You had to go through a lot of iterations when making these kind of things. So I would have started with, well, for the aces, I would have known, not the aces, for the diamonds, I would have known it was going to be about Mars. But I didn't know what I was going to do for the hearts. So I asked a friend, and he was like, well, aspects of Carnival, well, obviously you have to involve partying and fetting. So when I heard about that, you know, I incorporated into the design. So that's how it happened over, would have been a few months, yeah.
A few months, and definitely quite moving as well. Let's move to this next piece that we have this morning on set. What is the name of this next piece?
This one is Rainy Days.
And what inspired you to create this piece particularly?
This one was inspired by Port of Spain flooding, you know, but trying to add an interesting spin on it, you know. I wanted to capture, like, in our like daily lives, you know, there might be things that annoy us, that kind of frustrate us, but there is beauty in those things too. So I tried to capture it. We heighten it, you know. She's like up to her foot in water, but you know, even in that, you know, there's beauty in that. You know?
Definitely an interesting perspective. I think this is one that should be a good seller, to say the least. The beauty in being stuck downtown Port of Spain with water coming up to your knees. But something that's so beautiful about this piece in the background are these trees. What trees are these?
Those are, of course, pui trees, I think I have a special connection to them because they grew all along where I was going to school, you know, KRC. So I love those trees. I think they're probably the best in Trinidad, you know. They're iconic,
100%, if anything, patriotic trees, we should say, as well. Now, it's interesting because in this particular piece, even though we would have seen it in the first one we looked at with the cards, we see facial expressions. That sulking, that irritating that you would have mentioned as well. How long did it take you to work on getting these actual facial features and emotions coming out of a piece?
Well, there are two answers to that question. I guess for that piece, it would have been maybe like 3 hours, not too bad. But it's just a lot of practice. You know, you have to look at people's faces, you have to look at reference, you know. You just have to study like any subject, really. And after time, you kind of add your own spirit to it and what you see, and that will like allow you to express and show people's expression. Yeah.
And speaking about expression, the next piece that we have on set, Omali, I mean, for many, it resonates in so many different ways. The first thing that would have jumped out to me is crickets. What is the name of this piece?
This piece, it has two names. I have to decide on one. It's either Old Time Days, which is the one I think I like most, or Power on the Line, depending on which part of the piece you like more. I love the fantastical elements. That's the main thing for me. I really try to capture that kind of youthful like energy, you know, the retro potential that we had like as a country. We really had a lot of vision for the future, and I kind of wanted to capture that.
And I see it there. It's absolutely a beautiful piece. How long did this particularly take to create? Because there are so many intricate elements in this one.
Yes, this one was difficult. This one was about a month. Took a long time for the ideation, and the hardest part was, you know, drawing all these elements, because like when it comes to fantasy, you know, there's a tendency to go too far, and then you have to come back, keeping everything clear, but not too clear, so it's like a dream. That was difficult.
Taking a look at the background of that piece as well, is that the Magnificent Seven?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Absolutely beautiful there. And let's go on to the final piece that we have on set for the week, coming from the Kingdom playing card set. Walk us through this one.
Yes, so this one was, I think, these were the first of the pieces, the first few that I made, and they were, I think, probably some of my favorites. You know, starting with the Midnight Robber.
Right.
I have a history with that character. I did a few Midnight Robber performances like when I was in primary school, so I had a connection with that character. I really love Old Mass, so that had to be the first I created. And then I went on to Calypso and Soca. I'm more of a Calypso person.
Okay.
I'm sure you could tell I like retro stuff, all that stuff. So I had to get Lord Kitchener and I had to get Calypso Rosin. And Super Blue is one of the best too, you know.
An interesting choice as well, I see with the Ace, that you took steel pans and put them together as the club. Is that something that just came to you, or have you always sort of had that in your mind?
That is something that came to me, but it came to me very early. Some of them, you know, you had to work through, but some of them were just like, almost came as like obvious facts, you know. It was interesting.
And taking a look as well at Calypso Rose as the queen, of course, which makes complete sense because she is the queen. But it's interesting because her crown is made of roses.
Yes.
Was that also another one that was always there, or came to you as you were creating?
That one came to me as I was creating. I thought, you know, I wanted to capture her regal energy, and a crown made of roses was just the perfect thing, I thought.
100%. Now, Omali, since you shared with us that you are, let's say, a bit of retro, a little bit of an old soul, what is your process like when you create? Do you listen to music? And if so, what do you listen to?
Okay, yes. When I'm making art, I will definitely listen to music. Sometimes some not much modern stuff. Nothing past like 2000.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of old Calypso. Like I think Sparrow's my favorite, to be honest.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, I listen to a lot of Calypso. I listen to like a lot of 80s music, like from America and stuff like that sometimes. Yeah.
So we can see it coming out through your work as well, Trinbagonian, but definitely with that flair. Yeah. Omali, before we wrap our conversation, where can we get in contact with you and see some of your more of your work?
Well, on Instagram, I am Omali Art 868. You know, on Facebook, I am the same thing. And of course, you could see more of my work at Art Society. They'll be exhibiting for this week coming again, one more week, Independence. I think that's one of the best pieces I've made. Big canvas. I'll keep it secret. You'll have to go and see it in person, but yes.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations to you. And thank you so much for loaning us this incredible artwork for the week. We're going to enjoy it every single day and possibly pull out something new. And looking forward to seeing more great things come out.
All right, thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you. Of course, it's a pleasure to have you. Upset. The art exhibit series on Now in collaboration with the Art Society of Trinidad and Tobago will continue all week. Omali is going to be our resident artist. As mentioned, make sure that you follow him and check him out on all socials because you are going to enjoy them. And stay tuned because there's more to enjoy right after this break.